Ladies and gentlemen, imagine your energy as the most precious currency you own. Every thought, emotion, and reaction is an investment into the world around you. The question is, are you investing in your growth, or are you pouring energy into the very things that drain you? Your energy is your most valuable currency. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every action you take represents an investment of this precious resource. Much like money, your energy is finite. There's only so much of it to go around each day. The way you choose to spend it directly impacts your reality, influencing the experiences you create, the relationships you sustain, and the overall quality of your life. When you react impulsively, especially to negativity, you inadvertently squander this resource on things that don't serve your growth or purpose. But the concept of energy as currency is simple but profound. Think about how carefully you manage your finances. You wouldn't willingly hand over your money to something that offers no return or even causes harm to your well-being. Yet when it comes to energy, people often give it away, thoughtlessly engaging in arguments, obsessing over past grievances, or dwelling on toxic interactions. Each of these moments represents a choice to invest your energy into something that depletes you rather than nourishes you. Reactivity is one of the biggest energy leaks in our lives. When someone criticizes you, behaves poorly, or attempts to provoke you, your initial impulse might be to defend yourself or retaliate, but in doing so, you've allowed them to dictate how you spend your energy. Reacting emotionally in these situations may feel instinctive, but it often reinforces patterns of conflict and disempowerment. It's as if someone else has gained access to your most valuable asset and is using it to shape your emotional state. Your attention is an extension of your energy. Wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. If you focus on negativity, whether it's a person, an event, or a thought, you amplify its presence in your life. This is why it's so crucial to become conscious of where you're directing your energy. When you give your attention to things that drain you, you're essentially funding the very experiences you wish to avoid. On the other hand, if you redirect that same energy toward personal growth, meaningful relationships, or creative pursuits, you'll see those aspects of your life flourish. The beauty of this principle is that it places the power squarely in your hands. You are the sole gatekeeper of your energy. No one can take it from you without your consent. This realization is liberating because it means that reclaiming your power doesn't require anyone else to change their behavior, only requires you to change your response. Choosing not to react is an act of self-mastery. It's a way of saying, I will no longer allow external circumstances to dictate my inner state. Choosing silence or disengagement over reaction isn't about passivity or avoidance. It's about recognizing that your energy is too valuable to be spent on things that don't align with your higher self. When you choose not to react, you conserve your energy for what truly matters. This doesn't mean you ignore problems or suppress your feelings. It means you address them from a place of clarity and strength rather than from a place of impulsive emotion. Silence, in this context, becomes a powerful tool for self-regulation and emotional intelligence. Think of your energy like a garden. Every thought and action is a seed you plant. If you're constantly planting seeds of negativity, anger, frustration, resentment, don't be surprised when those are the plants that grow. But if you intentionally plant seeds of peace, gratitude, and purpose, your garden will reflect that. Cutting off toxic influences silently isn't about resentment, it's about weeding your garden so that the things you want to flourish have room to grow. This is not always easy, especially in a world that often rewards loudness and confrontation. Society may teach us that reacting quickly and forcefully is a sign of strength, but true strength lies in restraint. It takes courage and discipline to choose stillness in the face of provocation. It requires a deep understanding that your energy is sacred, and not everyone or everything deserves access to it. The power of treating energy as currency is that it shifts your perspective. Suddenly, every interaction becomes a choice. Is this worth my investment? Does this align with the person I want to be and the life I want to create? When you start asking these questions, you'll find that many situations and people no longer deserve your energy. Cutting them off silently is not an act of rejection, it's an act of self-preservation and self-love. As you practice this, you'll notice a profound shift. By conserving your energy and redirecting it toward things that uplift and inspire you, you'll create a life that feels more aligned, peaceful, and fulfilling. The energy you once wasted on reactivity can now be used to fuel your dreams, deepen your relationships, and expand your potential. This is the power of understanding energy as currency. It allows you to take control of your life, one conscious choice at a time. Breaking free from emotional reactivity is one of the most transformative steps you can take toward personal empowerment. When you react emotionally to external triggers, you unknowingly bind yourself to a cycle that reinforces old patterns of behavior and thought. These patterns are often rooted in past experiences and conditioned responses, meaning that each emotional reaction keeps you anchored in the past rather than allowing you to step into the present and shape your future. Understanding this dynamic is crucial for anyone seeking true growth and freedom. Especially intense ones like anger, frustration, or hurt create a kind of energetic loop. When someone says or does something that provokes you, your body and mind respond as if you're reliving a past moment of conflict or pain. This is because your brain processes emotions based on familiar patterns. If, for instance, you felt criticized or dismissed in the past, a similar experience in the present will likely trigger those same feelings, even if the situation doesn't warrant such a strong response. Reacting emotionally in these moments only strengthens the neural pathways that keep you locked in this reactive state. It becomes a self-reinforcing cycle, where each reaction makes it harder to break free the next time. When you consistently react to external triggers, you give up control over your inner state. Instead of being the creator of your reality, you become a victim of your circumstances, swayed by whoever has the ability to provoke you. This keeps you in a disempowered state, where your emotions and energy are dictated by forces outside of you. In this reactive mode, it's as if you're on autopilot, replaying the same patterns over and over again, unable to create something new because you're too busy defending yourself or justifying your reactions. Breaking this cycle requires awareness and intention. The first step is recognizing when you're being triggered and understanding that your reaction is not inevitable. Just because something or someone provokes you doesn't mean you have to respond. This pause is where your power lies. In that moment of stillness, you reclaim control over your energy. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can choose a different response or no response at all. Choosing not to react doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or ignoring the situation. It means observing your feelings without being consumed by them. When you resist the urge to react, you create space for reflection. You can ask yourself, why is this bothering me? What does this say about me or my current state of mind? These questions shift the focus inward, allowing you to address the root cause of your feelings rather than being trapped in a surface-level conflict. This process transforms a triggering moment into an opportunity for self-awareness and growth. Another reason emotional reactivity keeps you stuck is that it often involves assigning blame. When you react, you're essentially saying, you made me feel this way. This mindset externalizes your power, placing it in the hands of others. But the truth is, no one can make you feel anything without your consent. Your emotions are your own, shaped by your interpretations and perceptions. By taking responsibility for your feelings, you regain the power to choose how you respond. You shift from a victim mentality to one of ownership and agency. The cycle of reactivity also hinders growth because it closes you off to new possibilities. When you react out of habit, you're operating from the same emotional and mental framework that created the problem in the first place. This makes it nearly impossible to see things from a fresh perspective or to create a new outcome. Cutting off the cycle of reactivity, however, allows you to approach situations with clarity and intention. Instead of perpetuating conflict, you can choose actions that align with your higher self and long-term goals. It's important to recognize that breaking free from this cycle is a process. It won't happen overnight, and that's okay. Each time you catch yourself before reacting, you're rewiring your brain and breaking the hold of old patterns. Over time, this creates a sense of emotional resilience and freedom. You become less influenced by external triggers and more anchored in your own sense of peace and purpose. The ability to stop reacting doesn't just transform your relationship with others, it transforms your relationship with yourself. It allows you to see yourself as someone capable of change, someone who is no longer defined by their past, but instead empowered to shape their future. Every time you resist the urge to react, you're making a statement, I am no longer a prisoner of my emotions. I am the creator of my life. Breaking the cycle of reactivity is an act of self-liberation. It's about stepping out of old patterns that no longer serve you and into a space of conscious choice and empowerment. It's about reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and paving the way for growth and transformation. This is how you free yourself from the chains of the past and begin to live in alignment with the person you truly want to become. Silence is often misunderstood as weakness, passivity, or even avoidance, but in reality it can be one of the most powerful tools for self-mastery and personal empowerment. Choosing silence in the face of negativity is not about surrendering your voice or suppressing your feelings. It is about reclaiming control over your energy and refusing to let external forces dictate your inner state. In a world that encourages loudness and instant reaction, silence stands as a deliberate, conscious choice, a demonstration of strength, self-discipline, and wisdom. When someone provokes you, whether through words or actions, your natural impulse might be to react immediately. This is an ingrained survival mechanism tied to your brain's fight or flight response. Reacting feels like a way to assert yourself, to protect your boundaries, or to regain control over a situation. However, in many cases, reacting emotionally only escalates the conflict, reinforcing a cycle of negativity and draining your energy. Silence, on the other hand, breaks that cycle. It removes the fuel from the fire, rendering the negativity powerless. Silence doesn't mean agreement or submission. It is a strategic withdrawal, a refusal to engage in battles that are not worth your energy. When you choose not to respond, you're sending a powerful message not to the other person, but to yourself. You're saying, my peace is more important than this conflict. My energy is too valuable to be wasted here. This act of prioritizing your inner state over external chaos is an essential step towards self-empowerment. Choosing silence also allows you to rise above the immediate emotions of the moment. Reacting often stems from a place of defensiveness, hurt, or anger. These emotions, while valid, can cloud your judgment and lead to actions you might later regret. Silence creates a pause, a moment to breathe, reflect, and regain perspective. In this pause, you reclaim your power. You remind yourself that you are not a puppet on strings controlled by the words or actions of others. You are the master of your emotions, and you alone decide how to respond. There is immense dignity in silence. When you remain composed and unshaken in the face of negativity, you demonstrate an inner strength that cannot be easily rattled. This silent strength often speaks louder than any words ever could. It conveys a sense of self-respect and confidence that doesn't need validation from others. By refusing to react, you show that you are not seeking approval or engaging in unnecessary drama. You are secure in yourself and your values. Silence also creates space for yourself and for others. When you don't react, you give yourself the room to process your emotions and thoughts more clearly. This clarity can help you understand not only your own feelings, but also the dynamics of the situation. Sometimes the very act of stepping back and observing can reveal truths that are obscured by the heat of the moment. You may realize that the issue at hand is not as significant as it initially seemed, or that the other person's behavior has more to do with their own struggles than with you. For the other person, your silence can act as a mirror. Without your reaction to feed into the conflict, they are left to confront their own behavior. This can be a powerful catalyst for self-awareness and change, though it's important to remember that their growth is not your responsibility. Your silence is not about manipulating outcomes, it's about protecting your energy and staying aligned with your own values. In a broader sense, silence is a tool for conserving your energy and focusing it on what truly matters. Every time you react impulsively, you expend mental, emotional, and sometimes even physical energy. Over time, these small energy leaks can leave you feeling drained and disconnected from your purpose. Silence plugs those leaks. It allows you to redirect your energy toward your goals, your passions, and your inner peace. By choosing silence, you free yourself from the distractions of unnecessary conflicts and create space for growth and transformation. It's important to note that silence is not always easy. It requires discipline and a deep understanding of your own triggers. It takes practice to resist the urge to defend yourself, to prove your point, or to lash out when you feel wronged. But with time, you'll find that the rewards of silence far outweigh the temporary satisfaction of reacting. You'll experience a greater sense of control over your emotions, a deeper connection to your inner self, and a profound peace that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Silence is not about shutting the world out, it's about tuning into yourself. It's about choosing your battles wisely and recognizing that not everything or everyone deserves your response. It's about protecting your peace and preserving your energy for the things that truly matter. In choosing silence, you are not retreating, you are standing firmly in your power, anchored in the knowledge that your worth is not determined by how loudly you react, but by how deeply you remain true to yourself. Detachment is one of the most liberating practices you can adopt, especially when it comes to relationships or situations that no longer serve your growth. Cutting someone off silently is not an act of malice or resentment. Rather, it is a profound declaration of self-respect and a commitment to personal evolution. Detachment is not about shutting people out of your life with anger or bitterness. It's about recognizing when an energy dynamic has become unhealthy and choosing to free yourself from it. This process allows you to create space for growth, healing, and the alignment necessary for you to evolve into your highest potential. Relationships and interactions are like mirrors reflecting back parts of ourselves. Some of these reflections help us grow, offering lessons, support, or inspiration. Others, however, can keep us stagnant, pulling us into cycles of negativity, conflict, or emotional dependency. When you stay connected to people or situations that drain you, you hinder your own growth. You remain tethered to energies that are no longer aligned with who you are becoming. Detachment is not about denying the role these relationships may have played in your life. It's about recognizing when their chapter has ended. Detachment requires a shift in perspective. It begins with the understanding that you are not responsible for fixing, changing, or saving anyone. Often people stay in toxic or draining relationships because they feel an obligation to help or because they fear being seen as cold or uncaring. But carrying the weight of someone else's unresolved issues only holds you back. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and sacrificing your peace and well-being for the sake of others ultimately serves no one. True compassion starts with yourself. By detaching from toxic dynamics, you allow yourself to replenish your energy and focus on your own growth. Cutting someone off silently does not mean you harbor resentment or ill will toward them. It's quite the opposite. It's an act of releasing them with love and wishing them well on their own journey, even if that journey no longer includes you. Detachment is not about punishing the other person. It's about recognizing that you cannot control their actions, choices, or growth. By letting go, you free both yourself and the other person to follow paths that are better suited to each of your individual needs and aspirations. One of the most powerful aspects of detachment is the clarity it brings. When you choose to remove yourself from a toxic dynamic, you step out of the emotional turbulence that clouded your judgment. In this newfound space, you can reflect more clearly on what you truly want and need in your life. This clarity is essential for personal evolution. It allows you to identify the patterns that may have kept you stuck and to consciously choose healthier, more aligned relationships and environments moving forward. Detachment also teaches you to trust in the natural flow of life. Sometimes holding on feels like the safe choice, even when it's causing pain, because it gives us a false sense of control. But life is constantly changing, and clinging to something that is no longer serving you only creates resistance. By cutting someone off silently, you surrender to the wisdom of the universe, trusting that letting go is necessary for something new and better to enter your life. This surrender is not an act of weakness, but of profound strength and faith. The process of detachment can feel uncomfortable, especially if you are used to seeking external validation or relying on others for your sense of identity. But this discomfort is part of the growth process. By detaching, you learn to turn inward, reconnecting with your own inner guidance and sense of self-worth. You realize that your value does not depend on anyone else's approval or presence in your life. This realization is empowering, as it allows you to stand in your own truth and make decisions from a place of authenticity rather than fear. Detachment is not always permanent. In some cases, creating distance can allow both parties the space to grow independently, making it possible to reconnect in the future on healthier terms. However, the focus of detachment should always be on your own well-being and alignment, not on the possibility of reconciliation. Your primary responsibility is to yourself to protect your energy, nurture your growth, and honor your boundaries. By cutting off unhealthy connections silently, you also set an example for others. You show that it is possible to let go without anger or drama, that you can prioritize your peace while still wishing others well. This quiet strength can inspire those around you to evaluate their own relationships and make choices that honor their own growth and well-being. Detachment for growth is ultimately an act of self-love. It's about recognizing that you deserve relationships and environments that uplift and support you, not ones that drain or diminish you. It's about stepping into your power and choosing to align with what truly serves your highest good. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for the things that do. And in that space, you find the freedom to grow, heal, and evolve into the person you are meant to become. See, your peace of mind is sacred. It is the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built: your decisions, your relationships, your creativity, and even your physical health. Protecting this peace is not a luxury, it is a necessity. In a world filled with distractions, conflict, and emotional turbulence, maintaining your inner peace is an act of self-preservation and empowerment. When you allow external chaos to invade your mind, you not only sacrifice your emotional balance, but also your ability to navigate life with clarity and intention. Protecting your peace requires conscious effort, boundaries, and the courage to walk away from anything that threatens your well-being. Your peace is more than just the absence of conflict. It is a state of being that allows you to remain calm, centered, and aligned with your true self, regardless of external circumstances. It is what enables you to respond to challenges with grace instead of reacting with fear or frustration. When your mind is at peace, you are better equipped to make decisions from a place of wisdom rather than emotional reactivity. This clarity allows you to create a life that reflects your values and aspirations. One of the greatest threats to your peace of mind is negativity, whether it comes from people, situations, or even your own thoughts. Toxic relationships, in particular, can have a profound impact on your mental and emotional well-being. When you are constantly exposed to negativity, whether it's in the form of criticism, manipulation, or conflict, it takes a toll on your energy and outlook. Over time, this can lead to feelings of anxiety, self-doubt, or even resentment. Protecting your peace means recognizing these patterns and taking decisive action to remove yourself from them. Walking away from toxic situations or people is not an act of weakness, it is an act of strength. It is a statement that you value yourself and your well-being enough to set boundaries. These boundaries are not about shutting others out, but about creating space for the things that truly nourish your soul. Protecting your peace often requires difficult decisions, such as cutting ties with people who drain your energy or stepping away from environments that perpetuate negativity. These decisions may be uncomfortable, but they are essential for your growth and happiness. It is important to remember that protecting your peace is not selfish. In fact, it is one of the most selfless things you can do. When you prioritize your well-being, you show up as the best version of yourself for your loved ones, your work, and the world around you. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and trying to do so only leads to burnout and resentment. By maintaining your inner peace, you cultivate the emotional resilience needed to support others without compromising your own mental health. One of the most effective ways to protect your peace is through silence and disengagement. Not every situation requires your response, and not every battle is worth fighting. When faced with negativity or provocation, choosing silence allows you to conserve your energy and maintain your equilibrium. It is not about avoiding problems, but about refusing to let external chaos disrupt your inner world. Silence is a powerful tool for self-regulation. It creates a pause that allows you to process your emotions and respond, if necessary, from a place of calm and clarity. Protecting your peace also involves cultivating mindfulness and self-awareness. When you are mindful, you become more attuned to the things that disrupt your peace and can address them before they escalate. This might mean recognizing when you are overcommitting, allowing toxic influences into your life, or neglecting your own needs. Self-awareness empowers you to make choices that align with your values and priorities, ensuring that your energy is directed toward what truly matters. Another key aspect of protecting your peace is learning to let go. Holding onto grudges, regrets, or unresolved conflicts only keeps you tethered to the past, preventing you from fully embracing the present. Forgiveness, both for yourself and others, is a powerful way to release this emotional baggage. Letting go does not mean condoning harmful behavior. It means freeing yourself from the weight of resentment so that you can move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. Surrounding yourself with positivity is equally important. The people you spend time with and the environments you inhabit have a significant impact on your state of mind. Seek out relationships and experiences that uplift and inspire you, and be intentional about creating spaces that promote calm and joy. Whether it's through practicing gratitude, engaging in activities that bring you fulfillment, or simply spending time in nature, these positive influences act as a buffer against negativity and help you maintain your inner peace. Protecting your peace is about taking ownership of your life. It's about recognizing that your well-being is your responsibility and making choices that reflect that understanding. This may mean saying no to things that do not serve you, stepping away from drama, or even reevaluating long-standing relationships. These actions require courage and self-respect, but they are necessary for living a life that feels authentic and aligned with your true self. Your peace of mind is your greatest asset. When you prioritize it, you create a solid foundation for growth, happiness, and fulfillment. By protecting your peace, you not only improve your own life, but also become a source of calm and positivity for those around you. This is not just an act of self-care, it is an act of empowerment that allows you to navigate life with grace, strength, and intention. Learning to move on without explanation is a profound act of self-empowerment and emotional intelligence. It is a way of reclaiming your energy and deciding that you no longer owe your presence or your reasoning to situations or individuals who fail to align with your growth. This practice is not about avoiding accountability or running away from problems. Rather, it is about recognizing when further explanation or engagement would only prolong cycles of misunderstanding, conflict, or emotional stagnation. It is about prioritizing your well-being and choosing to exit situations with grace and integrity. One of the most freeing realizations in life is that you are not obligated to justify your decisions to everyone. Often, people feel compelled to provide explanations when they decide to step away from a relationship, a toxic environment, or an unfulfilling dynamic. This need to explain often stems from a desire for validation or an ingrained sense of responsibility toward others' feelings. However, not all explanations lead to understanding, and not all people are prepared or willing to hear your truth. In many cases, explaining yourself can create more tension, invite unnecessary debate, or reopen wounds that you are trying to heal. Moving on silently is an acknowledgement that your growth and peace of mind are not contingent on someone else's approval or comprehension of your journey. It is a recognition that you cannot control how others perceive your actions, nor is it your duty to manage their emotions. This doesn't mean being cold or dismissive. It means understanding that closure, clarity, and resolution often come from within, not from external validation. The choice to move on without explanation can be particularly powerful in situations where you have repeatedly expressed your needs or concerns, only to have them ignored, invalidated, or dismissed. In such cases, further explanation often becomes an exercise in futility, a loop of unproductive conversations that drain your energy without yielding meaningful change. By stepping away quietly, you assert your boundaries and refuse to engage in dynamics that no longer serve your well-being. This quiet departure speaks volumes, often more than words ever could, as it reflects your respect for your own time, energy, and worth. Moving on without explanation also protects your energy. When you feel the need to explain yourself, you may expend significant mental and emotional resources crafting your narrative, anticipating reactions, or defending your choices. This can be exhausting and, more importantly, unnecessary. Your time and energy are better spent focusing on your growth, healing, and the new opportunities that lie ahead. By choosing not to explain, you conserve your resources and redirect them toward building the life you want. Silently moving on is not about ghosting or leaving others in confusion. It is about trusting that your decision to step away is valid, even if it is not fully understood by others. There are times when people will demand explanations not because they genuinely seek understanding, but because they want to challenge or undermine your decision. In such scenarios, explanations can become a trap, pulling you back into the very dynamics you are trying to leave behind. By opting out of these conversations, you free yourself from the need to justify your choices and affirm your commitment to your own path. This approach also allows you to maintain your dignity and integrity. Silence can be a powerful tool for navigating emotionally charged situations. When you refrain from explaining yourself, you avoid the risk of saying things in the heat of the moment that you might later regret or that could escalate the situation. Silence provides a buffer, allowing you to leave with grace and composure. It communicates that you have made your decision thoughtfully and that you respect yourself enough not to engage in unnecessary conflict. Moving on without explanation emphasizes the importance of self-validation. You do not need external approval to affirm the validity of your choices. When you rely on others to validate your decisions, you give them power over your life. By choosing to move forward without explaining, you reinforce your own autonomy and remind yourself that your path is yours to define. This self-trust is an essential component of personal growth and resilience. Moving on silently is also a way of preserving your focus on the future rather than dwelling on the past. Explanations often keep you tethered to the very situations you are trying to leave behind. They can lead to prolonged discussions, debates, or attempts at reconciliation that delay your progress. By choosing to step away without looking back, you signal to yourself and to the universe that you are ready to embrace what comes next. This forward momentum is crucial for creating the space needed for new opportunities, heaps, and experiences to enter your life. This practice, while empowering, is not always easy. It requires confidence, emotional maturity, and a willingness to embrace discomfort. There may be moments of doubt or guilt, especially if you are accustomed to seeking external validation or fear being misunderstood. However, these moments are part of the process. Each time you choose to prioritize your peace and growth over the need to explain yourself, you strengthen your sense of self and your ability to navigate life with clarity and purpose. Moving on without explanation is a statement of self-respect. It is a reminder that your time, energy, and well-being are precious and that you have the right to protect them. It is a practice that allows you to honor your journey, trust your intuition, and create the space necessary for your continued evolution. In choosing to walk away silently, you reaffirm your commitment to living authentically and unapologetically in alignment with your highest self. Mastering the art of detachment, silence, and inner focus is not about shutting out the world, it's about choosing yourself. It's about recognizing that your energy, peace, and growth are sacred, and not everything or everyone deserves access to them. By refusing to react to negativity, silently walking away from toxicity, and letting go without explanation, you reclaim your power in ways that words cannot. This journey is not always easy. It takes courage to prioritize your well-being over the comfort of familiarity, to trust your intuition over the opinions of others, and to move forward without the need for validation or understanding. But in making these choices, you liberate yourself from the chains of conflict, dependency, and stagnation. You step into a space where your energy is no longer spent reacting to the world, but creating the life you desire. Let this silence, this detachment, and this refusal to engage in unnecessary battles be your strength. Let it anchor you in your truth and remind you that your worth is not tied to anyone's approval or understanding. By protecting your peace and honoring your path, you cultivate a life that is aligned, intentional, and deeply fulfilling. Choose yourself not out of selfishness, but out of love and respect for the person you are becoming. In that choice lies your ultimate freedom.